Shortly after Vegeta's Uber arrives, Roshi and the rest of the crew show up. With how quick these fellas came after Vegeta left, a part of me feels like they were just chilling behind a nearby rock watching these fellas get put on a milk carton, but I digress. The crew hops out of Bulma's Tesla and scatter to check on the remaining crew. Roshi and Bulma check on Goku while the man's wife hops over his damn near lifeless corpse over to her son. Now back in the day watching this, I always used to look at Chi-Chi and think, damn, what a jerk for real. But as I've gotten older, I've really come to understand that a parent does not play about their child, and if they think that baby's hurt, everything and everyone else is taking a back seat. Craziest part to me though is Bulma's reaction. Krillin breaks the news to her about Yamcha getting bodied and she's in shock for a moment, then all the memories she had of the homie starts flooding in and she has a breakdown. Now the breakdown itself makes perfect sense. Her on again off again boyfriend just bit the dust, and with Piccolo going, it really seems like there's no way at this point to get him back. But then Bulma starts going off on everybody, telling Krillin that he's bitch made for not stopping the aliens sooner, telling Yajirobe basically the same, but adding that it should have been him sitting in King Yimma's lobby rather than Yamcha. That blew me away with how out of pocket it was, I'm not gonna hold you. Man was out here risking life and limb on the front lines fighting aliens infinitely more powerful than any creatures they've ever come across, and you got the nerve to tell Buddy he's soft and he should be gone because you don't like him as much as Yamcha's sorry ass? I know Bulma was grieving, but she was wrong for that, and if Yajirobe popped off, I wouldn't even have been mad at him for real. Just when everything seems lost, Krillin begins thinking back on something he remembers Vegeta saying, something about leaving the Earth Dragon Balls behind and just going to find a group he called the Namekians, since they were the ones responsible for the Dragon Balls. Yajirobe tells Krillin he's smoking rocks if he thinks there's a snowball's chance that they can do anything about what happened, but Roshi tells Buddy to shut his pie hole up and the ball man may be onto something. Then we go back as they retcon Kami's origin story, informing us that rather than being an otherworldly divine or demonic entity, he was actually an alien who forgot his own origins because his people sent him to the planet so long ago. The crew begins to gain some hope that the Namekian Dragon Balls could be their answer to fix everything that went wrong. Krillin then reveals that he hit a lick off Vegeta and stole the communicator he had, potentially allowing them to take Nappa's ship, since if they were attempting to travel with standard Earth technology, that ish would take over 4,000 some years. Eventually the squad makes it to the hospital, and I gotta tell y'all, low-key the best part was Krillin, because they were in the hospital room. This man was roasting the absolute life out of Yajirobe. Man was sticking his gut out, blowing his cheeks up, pause, and doing a crazy impersonation of how dude was scurrying away from Vegeta while they were in the trenches. Honestly, Yajirobe should have had Krillin square up after how he was doing them. It was really that bad. Bulma takes the communicator from Krillin so they can get Nappa's ship and begin plans for the trip, but she unknowingly blows the thing up and everybody just sitting there in the room looking at her crazy, exactly like they should have been if we're keeping it a buck. Right before the whole squad performs an all-out attack like out of Persona on Bulma, we get Mr. Popo jump scare out of nowhere. Y'all, I almost left this part of the video out, because you know that I have at least 2,000 things I could potentially say about this racist ass character that's sitting on my chest for years. For the sake of brevity though, all I'm gonna say is that Akira Toriyama is bugging, and I hope that man has found God. I'll tell you right now, there was nothing good cooking up in the room where Mr. Popo was made. Mr. Popo informs the squad that he knows that they're in need of a ship and tells them that he might be able to help, getting them up to speed on how he knows the location where the ship Kami came to Earth on is, and if they're serious about it, they may be able to get it up and running so they can get busy to Namek. Chi-Chi hears that they're trying to take her son to an alien planet to fight for his life again, and she is having none of it. She shuts down any and all talk of Gohan going on this trip to Namek until Gohan reaches a breaking point and tells her to shut her mouth and let him cook. Gohan explained how there's a real threat to the world now, and that he literally just watched a number of people he cares about die in front of him, so there's no time for childish kid stuff when stuff like this is happening. All the people around Gohan look at Buddy and are proud of him for how mature he is, but this junk really made me sad for real. Bro is so young and is being forced to throw his childhood away and become a warrior, not because he even had time to decide that's what he wants to be, but because the situation is forcing him and he low-key feels obligated to do it because everyone has sacrificed for him. Gohan is a lot more tragic and complicated of a character than I think he gets credit for sometimes. There's so much more going on with little dude than just being the second coming of Goku. With the crew of Krillin, Gohan, and Bulma acting as the pilot being decided on, Bulma reveals that she's deeply racist, damn near refusing to go on the mission after it's revealed that she'll have to go ride with Mr. Popo on his godforsaken magic carpet to get to King Kai's ship. And while a part of me definitely wants to continue giving Bulma the side eye, I would be absolutely capping if I didn't say Mr. Popo gives off some weird vibes. Why does the only consistent black representation on the show have to be this man, bruh? I promise you you. With all the black folks I know that mess with Dragon Ball heavy, I feel like Akira owes us reparations or something after creating Mr. Popo. But eventually, Bulma works up the nerve and follows Mr. Popo to Kami's ship. Mr. Popo reveals that he knows a bit of Namekian language from picking up on the context of things that Kami would say when it would slip out on the lookout. Popo is able to teach Bulma enough Namekian to get them on the ship so they can start the journey. Before we talk about the arrival of Namek, I gotta talk about their fits real quick. Now, Bulma's a queen and she's always been dressing low-key, so that's nothing new. But we gotta talk about how absolutely dripped out Krillin was getting on this spaceship. I don't feel it gets talked about a lot, but Toriyama was mad fashionable. Some of the fits he had on his characters throughout the series, as well as the promotional art, goes absolutely crazy. And Krillin is no exception in this case. But next to him, we got Gohan wearing this crazy-ass schoolboy outfit, and Krillin starts cooking this man up after eyeballing what he had on. The part really had me dying, though, is that Gohan's comment that Goku was in the hospital roasting him too after seeing what he had on. The idea of Goku cooking up his son for dressing like a goober is grade A comedy to me, man. I don't know what makes me laugh about that so hard. But with their fits adjusted, the crew heads into space. The filler episodes during this time are absolutely wild. The fellas are out here mental image training, having space battles, and getting stuck on this planet and almost killed by two absolute jobbers. Dragon Ball filler episodes are a breed of their own, and it might actually be fun one day for us to just sit there and talk about that by itself. But moving along with manga canon, after a month of space travel, the homies arrive on Namek. Krillin and Gohan just hop right off the ship before Bulma can even check to see if the place is habitable. I promise y'all, these two are absolute buffoons. How crazy would it have been if Toriyama just decided to put them on Namek and then have Krillin and Gohan suffocate to death on the ship stairs because they were hasty and got no common sense? They lucked out though, because the atmosphere on Namek is a lot like Earth. What they did not look out on though was like 10 minutes after they arrived on the planet, they see a Saiyan spaceship and guess correctly that it's Vegeta coming to look for the balls himself. Pause. Vegeta's arrival on Namek is so hilarious, bro, because the very minute Vegeta touches down on the planet, dude starts talking absolutely crazy about how he's gonna smoke Frieza the minute he sees Buddy's face. Vegeta got me low-key wanting to start a cap counter to add up all the garbage that comes out of this dude's mouth after making it to Namek. After Vegeta gets done lying to himself, we get our first introduction to Zarbon, Dodoria, and the menace himself, Lord Frieza. The first scene with Frieza shows him in his little Walmart scooter forcing his goons to beat the life out of local Namekians so he can take their Dragon Balls. Frieza has already collected 4 of the balls and is well on his way to gaining the 4 more inches he always dreamed of, like in Resurrection F. Pause. Zarbon tells Frieza that he just picked up on energy that appears to be Vegeta's, and after roasting the man and calling him all manner of monkey-related racial slurs, tells Frieza that there's no worries because they have Kui on the job, and he has always been significantly more powerful than Vegeta ever has. After this, we're introduced to the man himself, Kui, and right from when he was introduced, bro had me dying. Dude was talking crazy about Vegeta the moment he picked him up on the scouter and was just talking wild trash about how Vegeta is garbage and how Buddy's funeral is coming up in just a few minutes. While Kui is making his way to Vegeta, Krillin and Gohan pick up on some evil energy and are approached by Hulk Hogan and a literal dinosaur, just 2 low-ranking jerks on Frieza's payroll who've been sent to smoke anybody that wasn't Namekian. Hogan and Barney start roasting Gohan and Krillin for gathering their ki until they realize too late what's happening and they get one-shotted into a local pond. What got me though with this is that Zarbon picks up on the fact that the energy signals of the losers they sent out are missing, meaning they got wasted. So that Krillin and Gohan literally just snapped these dudes' necks when they kicked them? Like, you're telling me they caught a body within minutes of coming to a new planet? But real talk, it's just, I can't even think about it. I'm gonna try not to think about it. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for, we have the first throwdown to occur following the legendary face-off on Earth, and it's the battle between none other than Prince Vegeta and his lifelong rival Kui. And the moment Kui flies in, we know man is gonna be on some bull, because instead of flying down and posting up like usual, man zooms right past Vegeta like he's a jet engine and comes in with this crazy ass explosive punch that, I'm not gonna lie, it would low-key be cool if it was coming from anyone except him. After Kui touches down, Vegeta's talking absolute crazy heat, telling Kui how he's a changed man and how he's gonna have Frieza on his knees soon. Pause. Then Vegeta starts ki charging and Kui's tone changes real quick. Vegeta tells him about how he learned to suppress power on Earth, but he's about to get a taste of what he can really do. No comment. Zarbon and Dodoria pick up on Vegeta's new power level and start tripping because Buddy has never been this nice with it since they have been bullying him and his pops on planet Vegeta. Kui gets punked majorly after seeing Vegeta's power level and starts meat riding like crazy, telling Vegeta they should work together to take on Frieza. Then in a moment of absolute brilliance, Kui pretends Frieza's behind Vegeta. For a split second, Vegeta feels the fear of his ancestors enter his body. Then he busts out Vegeta's favorite technique. That's right, folks, the garbage energy wave volley.
ベジータの技だ。ベジータの技だ。ベジータの技だ。ベジータの技だ。ベジータの技だ。
You can tell them boys was on the same team out here using the same trash techniques and everything. Kui starts giggling, looking at the massive explosion he just caused and start laughing like he won. But as we all know, if you use an energy blast volley and look at the explosion, you're guaranteed to catch an L in the next 10 minutes. It's kind of like watching that video from the movie The Ring, except instead of dying in 7 days, it's more like the next 7 minutes. As you all correctly guessed, Vegeta emerges from the ashes unscathed, finally looking like the main character. But he realizes that the only way this movie ends well is if he cuts and runs, but it's too late. Vegeta outspeeds bro and puts his hands through the man's guts. Oh my god, and on some straight Mortal Kombat energy, I might add. I promise y'all, I heard fatality as soon as they cut back to Vegeta's face looking wild, crazy, staring at Kui's body, and then he just chucks him in the air. Then Vegeta points 2 fingers at Kui like he was aiming a spirit gun and blows the man apart. Like, bro, somebody explain to me how this move works. Because if you got the ability to just do this, just the ability to point your fingers and blow a dude up, your fight should be lasting seconds at most. This is one thing that always kills me looking back at old Dragon Ball, bro. The powers just be mad random. Like in one episode, Goku is in the hospital and just has the ability to telekinetically control the water in his cup on some avatar energy, and all I could do was sit there and ask how sway. But getting back to the matter at hand, Vegeta buttered Kui's toast with the quickness, and the moment really made me realize that early Namek Saga might be the point in the series where Vegeta catches the most dubs. And God knows I hope bro enjoyed it to the fullest, because after he leaves his planet, his scoreboard starts looking crazy. We're talking Westbrook levels of inconsistency. After a quick scan, Dodoria realizes Kui is sleeping with the fishes and starts wetting his size 56 battle trousers, thinking about how strong Vegeta's become. Frieza tells Dodoria to shut his rotund self up, and ain't nobody scared of some 4'2" Saiyan out here. We return to Vegeta, and dude is working to hatch a scheme for the Balls Paws. Even with his massive ego and pride, Vegeta knows Frieza will still ruin his day right now. So his best bet is to get a hold of the Dragon Balls before Frieza does, so he can make that wish for immortality before taking on the universe's greatest known threat. What has always got me though is that immortality wish. Is that really the play? Because in my mind, just because you can't die doesn't mean that you no longer can take an L or that you're suddenly more powerful than you were before. So theoretically, couldn't Frieza or somebody else more powerful just make Vegeta a permanent POW and torture bro for like ever while he just has to take the abuse and get folded on an infinite number of times like some Itachi infinite Tsukiyomi type energy? Who knows, y'all? Maybe I'm overthinking it. But right here, homies, is a good place to call it, because soon Vegeta will be running up on Zarbon and Dodoria, and the battles will really start to jump off. Namek is already shaping up to be a trip, y'all. I forgot how good of a job the series does in the beginning stages, setting up the tension with the rat race for the Dragon Balls between the 3 different groups, and it only gets better from here, so I hope y'all are just as excited about it as I am for what's to come. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me, be cool, and I'll catch you in the next video.